In this kind of computers or in this kind of architectures, if we look at the big picture, then we would see that this is our memory, and in this memory we have everything. We have machine code for accounting program or any other program, machine code for editor program, machine code for C compiler, payroll data, good text, and this is C source code. So what it means? It means that in stored program computer, we use the same memory for storing the instruction as well as code or as well as any data. This is how it is stored in a single memory. So processor reads them based on the control signal. It identifies which one is data and which one is code. So this is how it works. And binary compatibility allows compiled programs to work on different computers, but the ISA has to be standardized so that one compiled code can run into other computers. For that, standardized ISI is needed. So we have seen about arithmetic operations. We have seen about add. We have seen add. We have sorry. Let me erase this one. Uh, we have seen add, and then we have seen add I, we have seen load, store, and so on. These are the instructions that we have seen, but we did not see any kind of logical operation. It is possible to execute logical operations in MIPS. Other than this arithmetic operation, we will also be dealing with arithmetic operation. So instructions for bitwise manipulation. Now there are few operations that we would be doing here. One is shift left operation, right operation. We already have seen these two operations, shift left and shift right. When we are discussing hardware, shift left means shifting one bit left or the bit length that would be defined, and then shift right is again shifting to the right, and then we have bitwise AND operation, bitwise OR operation, and bitwise NOT operation. Shift operation, we already have seen the shift operation when we are covering the DLD part. When we are covering the DLD part, we have seen the circuit for left shift and right shift operation. Now here we'll see what instruction can execute that shift operation. There are two kinds of shift operation you already know. One is left shift and one is right shift. For left shift, we are shifting towards left, and for right shift we are shifting towards right. This shift operation is R-type instruction. So we already know from the description of R-type instruction. When we have seen when we saw the R-type instruction format, we had opcode, RS, RT, RT, and here we have a shift amount field, and then we have the function field. This shift amount field identifies the number of bits that we need to move left or right. So here, as it is said that SHAMT, how many positions to shift. So shift left logical. These are all logical shift. By the way, this is called SLL. This shift left logical. Shift left and fill with 0 bits. The empty cell will be filled with 0 bits. So SLL by I bits multiplies by 2 to the power I. We already have seen this operation. And S SRL, which is a shift right logical. Again, this is logical. Why this is logical, I'll be explaining it very soon, but just for the time being, let's understand that this is right shift, which right shift and fill with 0. Again, like left shift, this one is also fills the empty cell with 0, and this one we already know that SRL or shift right logical is like dividing by 2 to the power r, 2 to the power I. Sorry. Now, why this is called logical? Why this is logical? Why this one is logical? Because here the when we are performing the shift operation, the arithmetic properties may not be preserved. That means a negative value might become a positive value. So that's why it says that it's a shift logical operation. There are options for preserving arithmetic operation, preserving arithmetic properties of the number, but we'll discuss it later. And operation. Again, AND operation is also ART type instruction. It's the format, so we'll be using the ART type format that we have seen previously for representing AND operation. So useful to mask bits in a word, select some bits, clear other bits to 0. So this is the format of AND operation. This is the format of AND operation. This is our T naught is our destination, T1 is source 1, and T2 is source 2. So this part shows how the operation takes place. Let's say T1, T2 is this one, and T1 carries register T1 carries this one. So if we perform the AND operation, this is similar to the logical AND operation. We'll get the result in T naught. This is how the AND operation takes place, and again, this is an ART type instruction. OR operation. Again, OR operation is ART type instruction. The format for the instruction format for R is this, the syntax is this, and again the format, format for representing R type instruction remains what we use in arithmetic R type instruction. And if we see the operation here, this is the T naught is destination, T1 is source 1, and T2 is source 2. Here in this part, T2 and register T2 and register T1, they have their values, and OR operation, like logical OR operation that we have seen in our digital logic part, this is the same. So if you see what we are getting in T naught, you would see this is just the logical bitwise logical operation of T2 and T1. This is what we are getting at T naught. Not operation is again, this is ART type instruction. So useful to invert bits in a word. So we can use this to make 0 to 1, 0 to 1, or 1 to 0. This is what we can do. But MIPS has NOR operation, not directly NOT operation. No NOT operation is there. It's NOR operation. It has three operand. So A NOR B is equal to not A or B. So how can we represent this one as in instruction? This is our NOR instruction. So in this NOR instruction, what did we do? This is our destination. This is source 1, and 0 is our source 2. But we all know that by default 0 carries 0, or 0 stays 0 all the time. So which means that we are performing we are performing this operation here, which gives us the NOT operation, as we can see in this part. T1 is this. So if you perform NOT operation, see all the zeros now becomes 1, and all the ones have become 0 now. We have seen arithmetic instructions, we have seen logical instruction. Now we'll be looking at conditional instructions. So we'll be seeing conditional operations, and why do we need this conditional operation? As it says here, that branch to a label. That means branch to a specific memory address. Now there are two types of branch. One is conditional, and the other one is unconditional. The two branch instruction that we see here, one is BEQ, which is branch equal to, and the other one is branch not equal to. So let's see the branch equal to instruction. What it does in branch equal to, RS and RT are compared. If they are equal, then the pointer goes to L1. That is branches to a memory position L1, or this is just a label which is actually a memory location. Or there are methods of calculating that memory location, but the general idea is, if RS and R2 are equal, then go to level 1, or a new memory address. And this one, branch not equal to, which works like compares RS and RT. If they are not equal, then again goes to L1, which again is a memory address or branches to a memory address. There is another one instruction which is J, which stands for jump. And as you can see here, J level 1, we already know what is level 1. This is just a point, this is just a memory location where the pointer should go. But the difference between jump and these two is that, see, there is nothing here. And in jump you have no conditions here. Jump, J and L1. That means no condition is required for performing jump instruction. This is unconditional. So remember that when we are talking about branch, this is conditional. We have conditions. See, these are conditions. We need to satisfy this condition to go to this level 1. But in case of jump, no condition is required. You write jump and then you give a label. The pointer will go to that level. Let's see how we can compile an if statement. So before going into the MIPS code, let's see, this is let's assume this is a C code where we have if I equal to j, then f would be this, else f would be this. So before going into the MIPS code, let's see the flowchart for this one. What it says, if I equal to j, it tests the condition. If I equal to j, then this line executes. If I not equal to j, then this line executes and the program ends. So this is straightforward. This is pretty basic. Now we need to convert this into MIPS code, but before converting it into MIPS code, let's assign these variables. Let's assign the variables in this C code into registers. So this is the assignment. This is the assignment that you see. F, J, G, I, all these registers, all these variables are assigned to S0, S1, and so on. These registers, these are saved registers. Now, so this is our assembly code, a MIPS code. So what do we have here? Well, we have branch not equal to S3, S0, and this is else. Else is just a label. We have seen the format of a branch instruction. So else is just the label. LB replaces by else. So if we explain this branch not equal to instruction, if we explain this branch not equal to instruction, then what we see, what it does is, if S3 and S4 are not equal, then the pointer would go to this else memory location, or the else is in the memory location. Now, if we compare this line with this one, what we see here? We see, even though here we see that this is not equal to, but here we see this is equal to. So why is that? One trick of writing MIPS code is that when you see a condition like this, which is equal to, you start your code with not equal to, as we have done here. Why? Because when assembler or your program is executing, after this if instruction, which instruction comes next? After this if, this is our instruction. So we are following stored program concept. In a stored program concept, program gets executed one after another, or instructions, should I say, instructions get executed sequentially. What it means that if you have, let's say these are your instructions in the memory sequentially, then after this one, this instruction gets executed. After this one gets executed, this one gets executed. After this one, you have this one. So this is how it's called sequential execution of instructions, unless you have some kind of branching inside these instructions. If you do not have any kind of branching, then this is sequential instruction. This one, after once you have this one, then you execute this one, then you execute this one, then you execute this one, and so on. This is how it executes. So let's coming back to the C code. So after this instruction, you have this assignment, which is another instruction, which is actually an add instruction. So if this instruction is true, then automatic execution is this. But what if this instruction is not true? You need to execute else condition. But the problem is, you know that after this if statement, the next instruction is this. So you have methods of calculating the memory address for this instruction, but you do not know where this else is. So you need to know the memory address of this else. Branch instruction calculates the address for you, but you need to tell the branch instruction that you need to branch now. That's why we started with not equal to instruction, because we know that if the condition satisfied in this if I equal to j, then the automatic next instruction that is going to be executed is f equal to g plus h, and that ends the program. But we need to think what would happen if I not equal to j, and that's why we started here with a branch not equal to s3, s4, and label is else, which means if s3 and s4 are not equal, then go to else. So your program comes to else and it executes the sub instruction, which is you can find in the original C code. Now what if I equal to j? As I said that if I equal to j, the program will automatically move to the next instruction. So if I becomes j, then this condition automatically gets false. So program comes here, it executes the add instruction, and this is j, jump exit. As I said in the previous slide, then that jump requires no condition. You write jump and then you put a label, in this case which is exit, so the program gets out of the loop or the condition.